Hi, Devin.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
You know what we're here to talk about?
Kenobi.
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 So Ewan McGregor was at the Golden Globes the other night. He had a beard. What does that mean?
What? Alec Guinness.
Alec Guinness. Can only mean one thing. He's growing a beard to look more like Alec Guinness. Could it just be that he wants to grow a beard?
Or that he's gunning for a Kenobi standalone movie.
Well, I don't think he's gunning for it. I think he already has it. I think he's playing coy. He says he doesn't know any more than we do, but I don't. I don't find that believable. I think he knows a lot more than we do. I think he's already signed on for the movie. I think he's already been fitted for costumes. I think they've already done props. I think they've done a lot more for this Kenobi movie than he's letting on. I really hope it's one of those things that Disney doesn't even announce the movie, and it's just one of those things where they don't announce it until the first trailer. Like they have like an announcement trailer for the movie, because it's one of those things that everybody wants. Star Wars, even fans that weren't fans of the prequels have to admit, Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan Kenobi was the greatest thing about the prequels.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So he's not only seen with a beard, but they showed him, they showed a picture of him that he was training with this big Hollywood trainer. Ewan McGregor has not had many physical roles. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you and to the people out there about some ideas that I had of things they could do in the Kenobi. We know it's going to take place between episode 3 and 4. That much is almost locked in. I don't want to see like an Obi-Wan Kenobi origin story where he's like 12 years old and he's found on a planet. I don't need that.
It's probably going to take place sometime before Rebels.
Before Rebels, yeah, because they don't have,
Because they had they had him pretty much looking like Alec Guinness.
Alec Guinness in Rebels. Rebels, at that point of Rebels, though, it's only a year out from episode 4. So I hope we kind of see some. This is the first thing I'm going to mention, and this may not be the best example because it wasn't the greatest movie for a lot of people. X-Men Apocalypse, when Charles Xavier loses his hair, it's due to Apocalypse using his powers on. I would like to see Obi-Wan Kenobi because he looks so much older in episode 4. I looked it up on the Star Wars databank. I think they said his age was something like 43 or 53 at his death. He looks like he's 70 in that. And that's because they casted somebody who was a kid for the prequels. Ewan McGregor was supposed to be 18 years old, Obi-Wan Kenobi, when the prequels came out and during the Phantom Menace. So that was just a problem that they did that, and they cast him way too young. But the good thing about that is now you got Ewan McGregor, and he's perfect age for an Obi-Wan movie. He's primed for it. So somewhere maybe 5 to 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. And now one thing that's important to consider is they may want to leave themselves open, leave themselves room for a sequel in case it gets big. I think they're only planning to do one at this point, but I think they'll plan to do it 5 to 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. So there's still a big gap of 10 years of more Kenobi stories that they could tell down the line. This is a big question that's been asked among Star Wars fans. Do you want to see Obi-Wan Kenobi fight Darth Vader in this movie?
Well, he's fought Vader twice already.
It's not an easy question, because if they do something, the way that they have it set up in episode 4, when I left you I was but the learner, now I am the master. But that can mean a lot. The biggest line that I give credence to when it comes to him facing Obi-Wan again during the prequels, after Revenge of the Sith, before A New Hope, is that in Return of the Jedi, Vader has a line to Luke when Luke's trying to convince him to go to the light side. He tells Luke, Obi-Wan once thought as you did. When did Obi-Wan once think as he did? Because when he was going to Mustafar, he wasn't going to Mustafar to redeem him. He was going there to kill him. Yoda sent him there to kill Darth Vader. He was not going there to save him. I want to see a last-ditched effort of Obi-Wan Kenobi to redeem Darth Vader, so that he realizes that he can't be redeemed, because then he gets to that point in episode 5, episode 6, where Obi-Wan doesn't believe in Anakin anymore. Yoda doesn't believe in Anakin anymore. They believe that he has been consumed by Darth Vader and that Anakin Skywalker is dead, cannot come back. But his son, Luke Skywalker, believes in him and turns him away from the dark side. I want to see the moment where Obi-Wan loses faith in Anakin, because I feel like Obi-Wan would try to get his friend back. I feel like he would find out about a guy in a suit, because you gotta understand, when Revenge of the Sith ends, he doesn't know that Anakin is still alive. So that's another thing I want to see. I want to see Obi-Wan Kenobi realize that Anakin, the boy he trained, the man he left burning on Mustafar, is still alive and is clutching the galaxy by its throat. So whether he goes back to try to save Anakin, to save Vader, or if he straight up just goes to try to kill him, because he needs to finish what he started and just fails. Another thing that could be a possibility, this one is something that I want to see if they do a trilogy of Obi Wan movies, because I want this movie to be very, very centric on the Force. This would be a less Force-centric movie, but something where there's some crime on Tatooine, there's some crime lords on Tatooine, kind of make it a mafia story, and Owen Lars and Luke's family is bothered by somebody who's trying to get money, and Obi-Wan needs to protect Luke that way. He needs to drive away this gang that is putting Luke in danger. Now, that's something I would only want to see if they're doing a trilogy of Obi-Wan movies. I wouldn't want to see that if this is the only one movie that we're getting. But that's another option they could do. Another thing I want to see. Qui-Gon Jinn. He was supposed to appear as a Force ghost in Episode 3, but they couldn't get Liam Neeson on set that day, so there is actually a deleted scene of Liam Neeson as a disembodied voice talking to Yoda before Yoda goes to Obi-Wan to tell him that an old friend has communed from beyond the dead. So I want to see Obi-Wan communicating with Qui-Gon's disembodied voice. Whether you can get Liam Neeson in person or if it's just a disembodied voice, whatever you want to play with it, however the story group wants to protect the canon, but I want to see Liam Neeson as a Force ghost continuing to train Obi-Wan, because that's what Yoda said. He said he had training for him on Tatooine during his exile, and Obi-Wan was like, training? Why? The Jedi are dead. Like, he was confused. So that's what I want to see. I want to see Obi-Wan learn to become a Force ghost, because that's a power he had to learn. He had to learn that from Qui-Gon. Yoda had to learn that from Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon was the first one of their era. Maybe not the first one ever, but the first one of their generation of Jedi that was able to become one with the Force while still maintaining his personality. So I don't know if that's 5 things, 6 things, whatever it is. Those are certain story points that I would like to see possibly in the Obi-Wan movie. Things that they could do. If they end up doing that, then that'd be pretty cool. Sorry if they end up doing that and I spoiled the movie for you guys, but if you're watching this movie in 2020 and you come back to this video for some reason, give me a like if I got any of these things right. Either way, Devin, what do you think about these Kenobi theories? Do you think any of these are plausible story points? And which one of them would you like to see the most?
Well, like that Vader thing, he's fought Vader a few times, and
I know.
He's fought Vader in full suit.
Yes.
And he succumbed. He
gave
Vader
himself
strike
up.
him down.
Yeah. Well, that's why I want to see Obi-Wan Ewan McGregor fight Vader in full suit. I guess that's where it would be fan servicey in a way, but I don't care because Vader in Rogue One was amazing. I mean, just remember that scene. Remember me screaming in the theater. I want that again, but with him fighting Obi-Wan. Because that could be one of those ways, because a lot of people are clamoring for a Darth Vader-centric movie. Pablo Hidalgo says, we got a Darth Vader movie, it was Revenge of the Sith. I don't take that as a Darth Vader movie. If they had an Obi-Wan movie, where Obi-Wan goes to try to redeem Darth Vader, or to try to kill Darth Vader, that would be more of a Darth Vader movie than Revenge of the Sith one, even though it would be called an Obi-Wan movie.
Well, he tried to kill Darth already.
Yeah, but he didn't try to save him. I think he needs to try to save him. I want to
Release his soul?
No, not release his soul. To bring Anakin Skywalker back, like Luke does. I understand. It's a mission that he has to fail. It's a mission that he has to fail. That's why I think it would be a good movie, though. Because the Star Wars movies, we don't have many Star Wars movies where the good guys lose. We have Empire Strikes Back. Attack of the Clones, like that, the good guys sort of lose. A lot of Jedi die. But, well, now that I think Force Awakens, they kind of lost, too. Last Jedi, they just retreated. But it was more of a moral victory than anything else. I don't think we're gonna see much of his past life during the Clone Wars. It would be interesting. That's something I think you could explore if you did a trilogy. This isn't the Obi-Wan movie I want to see for this particular movie, but I would like to see them go back to the Clone Wars era. A movie between Episode 1 and 2, where
there's quite the time gap.
Obi-Wan, there's 10 years where Obi-Wan is training Anakin. I want to see that. I know people hated Jake Lloyd and hated the little kid version of Anakin Skywalker. I want to see a teenager Anakin Skywalker that Obi-Wan still has to train to use a lightsaber, to not be reckless, to not cut his own arm off with a lightsaber. You know, I want to see that. That's stuff that we never see. We see him smiling at Padme at the end of A New Hope, and then the next second we see him, he's Hayden Christensen. What comes in between that? That's what I really want to see. We've seen seen what comes between episode 2 and episode 3. I want to see what comes between episode 1 and episode 2. And if we're never going to get a movie about that, I think that would be a damn good animated series. There's a lot of time gaps in Star Wars that you can explore so much of. And that's without even going before episode 1. So we got a lot of Kenobi stuff to look forward to. It's definitely happening one way or another. You can quote me on that. They're making a movie with Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan Kenobi.
Oh yeah.
So thank you for finding us. Devin, do you have anything else to add?
Stole it.
I keep stealing his thank you for finding us line because I wanted to say something a little more original. Say something to the people out there.
This is just
We shall expand here. Okay. It's good. Listen to what he said. We shall expand from here. This was a Nickyflix production. Hit a like, leave a comment. Let us know what you think.